Hello everybody, welcome back into a video. So it seems that Brad Simmons actually did, put out a new report about the state of 3 at the moment, and seemingly it seems that, Bonnie Ross's, health reason is essentially kind of indicating that it could be just a front for, the management restructuring, but who really knows? Like behind the scenes, might be someone who in her family that actually does have health related issues. We just don't know. But that's not really any of our business to begin with. So anyway, here Branson starts off by saying Halefin is not in good shape. Obviously, did not meet or hasn't lived up to goals Microsoft envisioned, and also is not living up to the goals financially either. So across the board in all expectations, Halo Infinite is clearly not living up to expectations. So I wonder, So it kind of makes you wonder why they lowered the pricing, probably because of all the backlash, really, to be honest with you. But gee, it was obvious they were trying to go for monetization with how the store was basically ensured that the store was actually the most functional, or at least the most polished out of everything. Let's be real here. And also, Soul Saga poor release, and despite all that, we all can agree, it still feels like Halo, ever else it's missing the mark. I think everyone could agree with that it's missed the mark in a lot of ways, especially in the live service department. So, and content too, obviously. That's obviously a big one, considering how bad these, the roadmap for Infinite has been. But anyway, here's where it all comes together. Fruit came to bear today, or rather this week, obviously, with Bonnie Ross gone from 343. This is Microsoft restructuring management. She wrote it up for family health. That's the story that they're saying, but multiple sources inside of Microsoft are saying that it's management restructuring after the recent Season 3 roadmap, to be believed, is the final straw that broke the camel's back. I mean, you saw how the delay for the roadmap, essentially blew a fire under everyone. Remember people, the Fire343 hashtag was trending for a while, I from the get-go was saying that, I think that was a little overblown. A more appropriate one would essentially says rebuild 343, I guess, is a better way of saying it. Restructure them, and seemingly that's what Microsoft is doing here. Finally, Brad and among the others like Windows Central's Jez Corden are hearing about even more changes. They heard similar things. Microsoft might be making more changes, led by Subspace engineer David Berger, who is also leaving 343. And keep in mind, he's been at Microsoft ever since 343 was founded, much like Bonnie Ross. So 2 long-standing employees at 343 are now gone from the company. That just kind of tells you just how big the restructuring of 343 seems to be. Long-standing employees who've been there, essentially right from the get-go. Let that sink in for a moment, This is Microsoft making big change. People don't understand. It's not that simple to just move the game to a different studio since it's on a custom engine, Slipspace/Blam. Point is that the management reshuffle has finally happened. I completely agree with that statement, and I want to make something clear to the people who are saying that, essentially 343 needs to be shut down and Halo moved to a different studio. Think about what you're saying for a moment. Just think about that. So you basically want Microsoft to essentially rebuild from scratch instead of essentially reshuffling 343 like they smartly chose to do. That was the right move by Microsoft in my opinion. And I'm optimistic with this new management in charge, especially Pierre. Speaking of him, man, it seemed he was responsible for fixing the Master Chief Collection. So I have hope that he can pull something like that with Halo Infinite too. So anyway, moving on. Now I know people want to think thinks that the technical depth that Halo Infinite has is gone with new management. No, that's not the case at all. The technical depth does not change with new management, since everybody, in their mother, essentially as a AAA gaming publisher, wants a live service like Destiny. Because as you know, Destiny was one of the big first ones to start on console. And sure, Destiny struggled for a couple years, but once Bungie got their groove together, for Destiny 1, I personally think Taken King revived the game. So, this is coming from a guy, I played both D1 and D2, so I know the struggles Bungie went through with both games. So if anybody would know, I mean, I don't play Destiny anymore. I just got bored of it, after a couple years. But when I was actually into it, it was a lot of fun. I've said that from day one, pretty much. So if I hear that's kind of hard for new players to get into it now, apparently, because of so much stuff Bungie did to D2. So that's not the point. So, like, scope creep, basically, it's like where the scope of a game or project, whatnot, keeps adding, and it just blows up so freaking much. And the budget keeps increasing on these games. And so it just kept adding up. So either way, I mean, Halo Infinite is what it is at this point, and that's what Microsoft wanted, this big live service, like Destiny, Fortnite, Call of Duty Warzone. You kind of get the idea. And in that aspect, it failed on every freaking metric. And Brad ended his 3 for 3 section of his video with the contractor situation, because everybody's been, harping about that contract situation. I admittedly have, because I definitely think that 3 for 3 hiring more permanent employees would solve a lot of the problems, because when you think about it, when a contractor comes in, they essentially have to learn the Slipspace engine, and apparently it's not very easy to work with in the first place. So yeah, I could see why that would cause a lot of problems. So I can see where people are coming from, but Brad Sam says that it's, like, at least in his opinion, that's overblown. So, because the whole thing with the contractor situation at Microsoft, I believe it's like every 18 months, I think. But double that, it's 36 months, and basically after 36 months, Microsoft would have to essentially, bring you in-house and make you a full-time employee, and it seemingly, so it sounds like it's supposed to protect the employee in case things go south, it seems, but it's normal in the gaming industry. It's been for a long time. I mean, look at how many studios are, work with Activision to make Call of Duty, like essentially every Activision studio. So you kind of need a lot of manpower and talent to make a live service work, and Call of Duty has been doing it for years, so they have the experience, Like for 3 for 3, they don't. So I mean, sure, you could consider Halo 5 one, but but that only lasted like a year that they're adding like significant content to it for the most part. So so Infinite was kind of the new territory for it, and they were not ready for it. I think it's pretty obvious at this point with how bad the game has been suffering. Like, let's just keep it real. It has. So, and that's kind of where Brad ended off with his Halo section, so now let's talk about it. So I wonder who else Microsoft would go with to, essentially make them leave or whatnot. So, I mean, it's pretty obvious that Microsoft is full aware of the management fuck-ups at 3 for 3 over the last decade. I'd say it's pretty obvious. So, I mean, think about that. They're getting rid of 2 long-standing employees who were there at 3 for 3 since the get-go, which was Bonnie and David. That's pretty nuts when you really think about it. So, I mean, I'm curious to see who would be next if they actually do any more restructuring changes, and it seems apparently that could be the real case. So I don't know. It's gonna be very interesting to see where the future of the series goes. So, I mean, Pierre's talking about doing, like, seemingly kind of branching out into different genres with the Halo series. Like, about time, because outside of, like, the RTS stuff, there's not really any spin-offs in terms of the Halo series. So, man, I would love, like, a Flood-themed horror game. That'd be pretty amazing. Or a game that's set during the Forerunner Flood War. That would be a wet dream for Lord fanatics like myself and other YouTubers like that, man. That would be that would be freaking amazing. That would be freaking amazing to explore the Forerunner Flood War event, in like an official game capacity. That would be amazing. I would be all over that easily. So, because it's always very interesting to read about the stories from that era of the Halo lore. So it'd be interesting to see 3 for 3 kind of do like an official game on it. But who knows though? Time will tell. So, but maybe I'll do like a video kind of talking about like what the series should do under this new leadership. But hey, who knows? So I just want to kind of report on this, because it seems that It seems like the future of 343 and Halo as a whole is about to be very interesting. I'm curious to see where it goes. So, hopefully this new matchmake can turn things around. And considering that Pierre's in charge, who helped revive the Master Chief Collection, I'm not giving up. I'm not giving up on Halo Infinite yet. I'm not giving up on him. So, because it seems that things could be changing for the positive. So, like I said before, time will tell. Anyway, that's it for this video. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comment section below. And if you like this video, hit the like button and consider hitting that sub channel. We just passed the 250 mark. So, and I really appreciate all you guys' love and support. And I'll see you on the next one. Have a great one.